remember when the pandemic hit last year, we had moved to another location at my job. So, I heard, that it was a virus going around, but I didn't think that it was going to have such a tremendous impact on the nation. So, when I had went to work, we got sent back home. And then I remember my other co-workers was acting hysterically because we never was put in a position where we had to do our jobs at home, but we managed. With the grace of God, we did a good job. We stayed at home for 8 months. And I'm gonna tell you, during the course of that time, I used to get up and watch the news every morning and seeing all the tolls of death and seeing all the tolls that people was fighting for their lives, but they had the virus, but they was in stable condition. That just used to beat my spirit down. So it made me so sad. It made me so sad. And then everybody would talk about it. And so what really had me in a stupor is when I would watch the news and I see everybody talking in their mask. That just did something to me. So something came in my spirit and said, Valerie, just stop watching it for a minute. So I did that. And then, heck, when my mama called me, it was like I was watching the news because she'll tell me everything that was going on. My mom and my daddy, they in their 70s. Older people, it's not for the miss a beat. They gonna know everything that's going on. And then they get mad at me because I'll be watching the news all the time. So I had stopped watching it for a while. And so, what I started doing, I had, and then I was ordering everything offline too. Everything. I had to do my house. I had just moved into a new house. That was delayed. It got pushed off for, I want to say 90 days. I thought I was going to get my house. My house got built from the ground up. And it had got delayed. But anywho, I still closed during the pandemic and everything. And I had to order everything offline. And then it said, due to COVID, we can't blah, 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 deliver your stuff until 60 days, 30 days. It was a very challenging time for me. But I was not scared. And I'm still not scared. And I'm finna elaborate on what I got out of it. When I was working from home, what I used to do, I used to get up and read my Bible or start listening to some sermons when I stopped watching the news every day. That's what I did. I started watching Joyce Myers, T.D. Jakes, Charles Stanley, John Gray, just numerous of preachers that I let in my spirit. So I started watching them, and then something came in my spirit and said, okay, Valerie, start reading a verse. Write down a verse. Memorize a verse. I would do that. And then I remember when my co-worker used to call. She said, what you doing? You watching Joyce Meyer or are you reading your Bible? I said, well, I'm kind of doing a little bit of both. Okay, I'll call you back when you finish. And so what I was thinking, I said, Lord, I sit up in this house every day. I said, Lord, I can't go to church. I said, I have to watch the preachers on TV. They don't have their congregation to preach to. And some other preachers that I watch, it seemed like they really struggle with it. It was almost like you had to really come on if you really a child of God and you trying to preach a word and preaching and saying who you are if you following God. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people had to struggle because they didn't, have their congregations or whatever. So then I got to thinking, I said, Lord, everything is shut down, Father. I said, what are you trying to tell us? And something came in my spirit, and I was like, the Lord just shut this world down and reached his hands around this universe and paused it. And get over it. I said, he didn't pause it. He didn't pause everything. When I say he paused everything during that time, and he trying to get our attention still. The kids couldn't go to school. We couldn't go to work. We couldn't go to church. We couldn't go into the stores and get what we wanted to get. It was like a famine on this earth. And then I found out in the Bible, in there somewhere, that this wasn't the first time this happened. So then I got into myself. I said, well, God wants our attention. He needs our prayer. He trying to get our minds set up on him instead of all these things that entertain us here on this earth. And there's so many things to take our mind off of him. Social media is the number one thing. And I had read in an article that the world is getting so wiser that people can get news out in a matter of seconds. And I was thinking, I said, that's kind of like TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, and they said something about us being on our phones all the time. So one while I kind of fast from the phone and social media for a little bit, but then this morning when I had got up, Lord spoke to me and said, talk to them about when you was working from home during the pandemic, when everything was shut down, when the city and stuff was shut down. It was really, really, really something. And then getting back to like when I said I had to order everything online and how my delayed blessings were slowed down for a minute, it really taught me the fruit of the spirit. You really have to be patient with everything. And then when my home was getting built, when they start with that foundation, the Lord spoke to me, you have to have a strong foundation here where you at now. You have to have a real close relationship with me. He showed me, and then when they started putting up the frame, at first you see the land when you get in the house built. That's God working behind the scenes. Like we feel like stuff is hopeless. You can't see, you can't see, you don't have no vision, but he working behind the scenes. All that came to me when I was going through the phase, and then when I was shut down at home, working from home. That was the most awkward thing that I have ever done. And I used to tell my coworker, I said, oh, well, I wish I could work at home like the coders be working from home. And then I had the opportunity to do that. And then when I was at home, I was fussing on the phone to her. She said, you use how? I said, I wish I could work at home like the coders and the quality insurance people. And she said, now we got our booties at home. Now you want to go back to work. I did want to go back to work because I didn't like being cooped up in the house. I didn't like being cooped up in the house. I didn't like my husband open the door hollering, baby, do we got some pinto beans and some neck bones? Go look in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? Hollering and stuff. I ain't like that. I just felt like, I don't know. I got in a stupor. So then when it was time for me, excuse me, look, to come back to work, I had so many anxieties attack getting back on 240 trying to go to work because I wasn't used to driving on the freeway and being at the house. I ain't gonna lie, it seemed like during that time I must have kept barefoot in business because that's all I did. And then usually I will stop drinking for a while, but during that time I used to stop a drink for almost a year. During that time it seemed like I drank all the time. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It seemed like I did. As soon as I closed that computer up, I'm pouring out some wine. Or I go in the kitchen. My husband got my wine by the cold in the refrigerator, and I had to sit there and unwind my mind because it was so much to grasp to me. It really was. It really was so stressful. And I told my husband, I said, if nobody didn't get nothing out of this pandemic, something is wrong. I said, God was coming for his children, taking his children, if he wasn't ready or not. You know, he giving us time to establish a relationship before he come in and just take everybody away. I lost folks through the coronavirus, and a lot of my family members got sick and they recovered, and some of my friends. I just thank the Lord that I never got it. You know, I'm still not really fearful, but you know, a lot of people lost their homes and their jobs and everything, and the Lord really he blessed me and kept me, and I'm very grateful, and I give him all the praises for that. I really do. But ultimately, I know that he's trying to get our attention. Ultimately, what I got out of it, and I told my husband, and then when he said he coming for his people, he's coming. You know, and I was thinking, I said, yeah, he really is. Are you ready or not? And I'm going to tell you another creepy situation, what happened to me, and then I'm going to sign off because there's a lot of traffic on 240. I had got sick. I almost had a stroke. My blood pressure had shot up. That was from me drinking that barefoot wine every day. You know, you can't do when you get older, you just can't do certain things that you could do when you was young. I used to kick them back in the day, but I can't do it now. So my blood pressure went up. I left work. I had left work that Thursday. I had told my supervisor, I said, I'm having pains in my chest. I was thinking I needed to get a breathing treatment because I am on a little pump. So my blood pressure was up. I drove myself to the hospital and everything. And the nurse took my blood pressure. It was 220 over 180 or something. They immediately called the ambulance to the place. When I looked around, I was getting up on the stretcher. When I looked around, I was at Baptist DeSoto Hospital in their ER. They had machines and stuff all hooked up to me, monitoring me and stuff. And then when I looked around, I was checked up in the room in the hospital for 2 days. I had to get a echo done, a Holter test, all kind of tests. And that was the most creepiest thing because you know what? Couldn't nobody get to me. I was thinking about my mama, I was thinking about my daddy, and I was thinking about my husband. I was thinking about my mama and daddy first before I was thinking about my husband, because I'm a big baby. And my daughter was like, kept calling me. She said, Mama, I'm trying to get up there to you. I said, nobody's in the room. I said, your stepdaddy ain't here. I said, come on. She called me back. She said, Mama, they got Baptist DeSoto closed in because somebody had a gun and I can't get to you. Something was going on. I don't even know. Could nobody get to me? I was there myself. By myself because of the COVID guidelines. I was by myself. Folks was calling me and texting me, but I was by myself. And I had got scared. So I was looking out the window. I said, Lord, I'm up here by myself. I said, I can't get my mama. I can't, my husband, my kids. I said, nobody. I said, folks coming in here with masks and everything. At first I got choked up. I wanted to start crying. And I looked out the window and I saw 3 cardinal birds. One of them first, I saw one of them flew off. And then when I looked up, 3 of them they came back and sat right there in front of my window. And I'm going to tell you something about a cardinal bird. It's a spiritual bird. Those are my angels or my loved ones.